I'm Brittany Lewis with Forbes Breaking News. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell blamed the Biden administration for inflation on the Senate floor Wednesday. McConnell's remarks come as inflation hit a 40-year high. The May Consumer Price Index report shows that the 12-month change in inflation is at 8.6%. The Kentucky lawmaker said the current administration has, quote, struck out when it comes to three critical issues: stable prices, public safety, and secure borders. Listen in as McConnell explains.
American families are being crushed by a giant backdoor inflation tax, and it's been fueled in large part by Democrats' huge mistakes. Month after month, families pick up the newspaper, flip on the television, and hear that Democrats' inflation is setting new 40-year records. Month after month, families find themselves shelling out hundreds upon hundreds of extra dollars per month just to actually tread water. Forget about saving and getting ahead. In this Democrat-run economy, working Americans have to shell out hundreds of extra dollars every month just to remain standing still. Even when you factor in the nominal pay raises that workers have earned, the average American worker got a 3.9% pay cut last year due to Democrats' inflation. According to the Joint Economic Committee, inflation cost the average American household $635 last month alone. $635 in 1 month for families in Colorado. The combined effects of Democrats' inflation and higher household spending put that number at a staggering $825. In Arizona, it's $733 extra per month. In Nevada, it's $731. For New Hampshire families, it's $653. It's $599 in Washington State and $598 in Georgia. Everybody knows why this is. Food costs are up more than 10% year on year. Gas is up nearly, listen to this, 50%. Rent is at a 35-year high, and would-be homebuyers are being squeezed between high prices and soaring interest rates. In my home state, Kentucky, that monthly inflation bill comes out to more than $500 every month. Right before Senate Democrats spent $2 trillion last spring, the Democratic leader said he wasn't worried about the possibility of inflation. Now, working families are paying dearly for that incredibly bad judgment. I hear from hardworking Kentuckians who are falling behind on home payments or late on their utility bills or cutting back at the grocery store, families who are literally skipping summer vacation. Every month, the average Kentucky household now spends over $500 more than they did before the Biden presidency. One of my constituents from Beaver Dam wrote to tell me things are looking pretty grim for me and my family right now. Everything is too expensive. His family was already giving up buying chicken and beef at the grocery store. Next, they may have to stop making car payments. They're literally out of slack. Another constituent from Science Hill told me that his family is maxing out credit cards to stay above water. He's watching as the Democrats who control Congress continue to advocate for more reckless spending and laments that Washington does not appear to understand what's happening to our heartland. A third constituent from Paint Lick is struggling because clarifies that she is not asking for a handout because she doesn't believe it would help. After all, she writes, money is not free. Taxpayers must pay it back. If only Washington Democrats had that much wisdom. If only our one-party government had exercised that much common sense back last spring. Three of the most basic duties that any government owes its citizens are stable prices, public safety, and secure borders. Stable prices, public safety, and secure borders. Unfortunately for our country, the Democrats have struck out swinging. Now, on a completely different matter, yesterday marked 5 years since the attempted assassination of numerous congressmen on a baseball field across the river. The perpetrator was a far-left activist who double-checked that it was Republicans on the field before he started shooting. 5 years on, political violence and threats are again making national headlines. The far left has spent weeks fomenting rage and panic over the possibility that one or more upcoming Supreme Court rulings may not deliver the liberal policy outcomes they'd prefer. Last week, the authorities arrested a deranged person who traveled to Washington from California with a premeditated plan to assassinate an associate justice for ideological reasons. Fruit of a toxic culture that has fueled by the precedent-breaking leak of a draft opinion last month and a torrent of reckless talk from prominent Democrats. It took that assassination attempt and then another week of wasted time for House Democrats to stop slow-walking a bipartisan bill to beef up Supreme Court security that passed the Senate unanimously more than a month ago. The same people fanning the flames of fear and anger blocked that non-controversial bill for more than a month, before they finally sent it to the president. Meanwhile, as mobs continue to mount angry demonstrations outside these judges' private family homes, President Biden's Department of Justice continues to assiduously ignore the fact that this is totally illegal now under existing law. Section 1507 of the Criminal Code makes it perfectly clear it is flat out illegal to demonstrate at a judge's private family residence to pressure them in a pending case. That's the fact set that we have here. It's not just immoral, it's not just civically toxic, it is literally a federal crime. Where is Attorney General Garland? As the former chief judge of the D.C. Circuit, he should understand the need for judicial security and independence as well as anyone. But the same soft-on-crime ethos that pervades the modern Democratic Party apparently extends even to ignoring illegal pressure campaigns aimed at federal judges. 2 years ago, a New Jersey judge had a gunman show up to her front door in disguise and murder her son. Just recently, somebody murdered a retired judge in Wisconsin. And then last week's near assassination. But where's President Biden? He won't even denounce the ongoing protests at judges' private homes. And our supposedly non-political Attorney General will not lift a finger to enforce existing federal law. Today, every Republican member of the Judiciary Committee and I are sending another letter to Attorney General Garland. His dereliction of duty on this subject must come to an end. The far-left political violence and intimidation efforts do not stop with judges. In the weeks since a draft opinion suggested the court may overturn an abortion decision that even Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg acknowledged was poorly reasoned, a spate of vandalism, threats, and even some arson attacks have been unleashed upon Catholic churches and pro-life crisis pregnancy centers all around the country. In 2022, simply being a Christian or being pro-life seems to be sufficient cause for angry radicals to call in threats, graffiti your door, or firebomb your office. Once again, President Biden and his Justice Department have been totally silent, not a word about any of this, unable to even simply denounce the hatred. The same Democrats who want to make a national spectacle out of their supposed opposition to political violence will not even call out violence and intimidation from their own side, let alone fulfill their oaths and put a stop to it.